Hello, welcome to another TV episode review. Today we'll be taking a look at the pilot episode for, this is technically the pilot episode. Pretty much, it's the first episode of Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is a Disney animated, 2D animated series from 2015. That's when it first came out. So, this is the first episode. It's called Star Comes to Earth. And the reason why I say this is technically the first one is because the actual pilot for Star Versus has never really been shown. Not really. But yeah, here it is. Sorry you can't see the picture is a little bit different quality. But anyway, it's the very first episode, and it's really great. Essentially, this show is about a magical princess from another dimension who fights monsters, and that's really it. That's like the main synopsis. And so the king and queen are very overwhelmed by Star Butterfly. That's her name. That's her there in the picture. And she's a 14-year-old hyperactive teenager that has so much energy that she ends up burning down half the kingdom of Muni to flames because of the magic wand that her parents give her. Well, they try to give her the wand, then she burns down the kingdom. Then obviously she's not responsible enough, so they send her to Earth, which is where we meet many of the characters we'll see later, including Marco Diaz, who is the misunderstood bad boy. And he's the kid in the red shirt. He's like the other main character. And so he's kind of forced to look after Star because she doesn't have a family on Earth, so she's kind of has to be put with a family, kind of like a foreign exchange program. And so she goes to the local school, which is where she, learns education and things like that. And so she eventually meets Marco's parents, the Diazes, who then take her in, and now Marco is stuck with Star, pretty much. And she's very weird. She's a very strange girl. She's like, she doesn't know a lot of the Earth things. So she thinks that the water fountain is evil. She thinks that the lights are magic, and she's very, very hyper. And that's part of the fun, I think. And so while this is happening, we see another portal which has it's an evil portal. And so we see a giant castle and a bunch of these evil, creatures. And so one of these creatures is a frog-like being named Buff Frog, and he's been watching Star this whole time. And so he's been kind of keeping watch on her. And it turns out that the princess has an enemy. And so his name is Ludo. He's like this little bird demon guy thing. And he wants her wand. He wants to use that to conquer the world. And yeah, that's it. That's kind of a standard villain thing. But he's the main villain. He turns out he's her arch nemesis. And so he wants the royal wand to take over the galaxy. And so that's what he's trying to do. And so he goes out with his minions, goes out and tries to locate the princess. And then while this is happening, Star is learning about Marco and his house and what he does and, standard things, them going to school. Sounds kind of boring. It's not. It's actually pretty fun. And so Star, because this is not her house, she makes an extra room kind of out of the house. It's like this weird tent thing. And she makes it appear with her wand outside of the house, so she has a room. And she's very spoiled, especially with the wand. But when all this is happening, it turns out that Ludo has found her somehow. And so he appears. But before that happens, Star does so much ridiculous magic that Marco is absolutely done. He's done with it. He's like, if you're moving in, I'm moving out. And so he falls out the window and he goes to this. This is one of the best parts of this episode. This is when Marco goes to the local, not supermarket, the local convenience store, and he goes to the store and he's trying to get money to buy things, some food. And so he's outside the store, and there's this constant rain cloud above his head because of stars or magic. And so he's basically like this crazy person that's outside of the store. And one of the best parts is when this mom and her son walk out, and the son is like, "Who's that? Well, who's that, mommy?" And then the mom's like, "Oh, don't. That's." I forgot what she says, but it's hilarious, and it's one of the best parts of the episode. And he's like jumping around like a crazy lunatic, and so Star appears, and this is probably one of the more heartwarming scenes, where she apologizes because she's not from Earth. She doesn't really know how to be a human, and so she's trying to tone down her hyperness, trying to be like a normal girl. And so it's actually quite touching. She gets rid of the cloud. She says she's sorry. She's gonna move somewhere else because obviously, you know, he doesn't want her in the house, and so she's gonna leave. And Marco's like, no, it's fine. And he's like, no, I want you to, hold on, no, that's at the end of the episode. Sorry, they're talking, and then Ludo shows up. So this is when Ludo and his monsters show up. And so Star's like, Ludo, how did you find me? And then he's like, wouldn't you like to know? And then she's like, yes, that's why I asked. And that's just like, great. And then you can tell that these two have a history already. And so Ludo's like, I don't have to tell you anything, get her. And he's like, I want the wand. And so this massive battle, it's so ridiculous, but so great. So this massive battle ensues outside of the convenience store, and it's just ridiculous. All of this is just so silly, and it's so fun as well. So Star uses her wand to kick the monster's butt as usual, and as she said in the beginning. And then she gets the better of all the monsters, and then Marco reveals that he's actually a karate master. And so he goes ham on those monsters, and then they all get beat up and just totally humiliated. And then Ludo at the end, he's like, oh, you guys are morons. Back in the portal, let's go. Come on. We didn't get the wand this time. I almost had it. And so he promises Star Butterfly that he'll be back. And so he goes, exits the portal, and they're all safe again. And so at this point, Star is gonna, go to another family. And so then Marco says, no, I want you to stay with us. And then that was really touching. And then she's like, hugs. And that's like one of her trademark quotes, is the hugs thing. And yeah, that's how the episode ends. I think it's absolutely awesome. This whole episode, it has it has magic, which I love. It has princesses, which I also love. But then it has action, which I love above all else. So this whole show somehow just captured me. I don't know. I just loved everything about it. Especially Star. Like, she's like the best part of this whole show, because she goes through so much development, surprisingly. But yeah, this is a fantastic pilot. It's got great quotes, especially between Ludo and Star, because you can tell that they have a history, they know each other, they're obviously enemies. So it's great to see the beginning of that dynamic. And all the monsters are hilarious. They're just stupid idiots that can't get anything done. And yet, that's the fun of it. They're just really silly. And Marco is great. His family is great. The school, we get a little bit of that. We see it more. I think Marco and Star, this is the beginning of their friendship. They begin to understand each other, which is great. And so, yeah, that's Star Comes to Earth. It's actually technically a part of another episode, Party with a Pony, which introduces Ponyhead, which we'll get to her later. But this is technically a two-parter. So every episode with Star is 2 11-minute episodes put together, but this is just the first episode, so I just reviewed it on its own. I'll probably take a look at Party with the Pony, might as well. And another one. Hope you enjoyed this. Do you like Star vs. The Force of Evil? Do you think it's one of the best Disney, like, animated shows, or do you think it's terrible? Let me know. I think it's definitely one of my favorite shows. I don't know, I love everything about this, but yeah. That's all I have to really say for the pilot. I hope you enjoyed. I think my favorite part is definitely the beginning with Star and her family. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I also do analysis for the characters as well. But until then, take care. Have an awesome day. Be sure to comment below who your favorite character from the show is, and I will see you in the next analysis. Thanks for watching. Take care.